In this video, we're going to start looking at the merge-sort algorithm. Towards the bottom of our index.js file, you'll notice that we have two separate functions, one called merge-sort and the other called merge. The merge-sort algorithm is usually solved with a recursive solution, and that recursive solution uses two separate functions, each of which has a different purpose within the context of the algorithm. I'm going to be really honest with you. My personal belief is that understanding what goes on inside of the merge-sort function is rather challenging to understand. It's kind of hard to figure out what's going on because this is where all the recursion takes place. And I think that recursion is just naturally something that is a little bit more challenging to understand. The merge function doesn't contain any recursive code, so it's all iterative code. We take in two arguments, we do a little bit of work on them, and then we return some result. So the merge function right here is pretty easy to wrap your head around. Merge sort is going to be a little bit more challenging. With that in mind, we are first going to take a look at the merge function. We're going to make sure that its purpose is crystal clear. And once we have a really good idea of what merge does, we'll then go back and start talking about the first function, merge sort. So we are going to cover as much of the easy stuff as possible up front, and then we'll come back and discuss the hard part. So with that in mind, let's take a look at a diagram that's going to explain the purpose of the merge function. Oh, one last thing before I flip on over. Notice how the merge function here has two separate arguments, left and right. That's going to be important in just a moment. So here's our diagram. Again, on the right-hand side, we have some pseudocode, and then on the left-hand side, we've got some stuff that we're going to take a look at. The merge function, and I've labeled it here as merger, same thing, so merge function, merger, whatever you want to call it, will be called with those two arguments that we will refer to as left and right. Left and right are two separate sorted arrays of values. So right here, we might see an example of the argument left and an example of the argument right. Like I said, these are sorted arrays. So notice that the ordering of values within each of these goes from the lowest value to the greatest. So we have -30, 22, and 0, 97. The general purpose of the merger function, or the merge function, the one that we were just looking at, this one right here, is to take two separate sorted arrays and merge them together into one sorted array. So in this example, we're going to imagine that inside of our function, we will create an empty array called results. So we are going to have to write some code to take these two sorted arrays and merge them together in some fashion and put all the resulting values in this results array. So let's discuss the pseudocode right here and get a good idea of exactly how it works. So step one, again, is to create that results array. It's going to be an empty array that contains no initial values. We'll then enter into the while loop. A while loop is going to run so long as there are still elements in both arrays. As soon as one of these arrays right here, either the left array or the right array, has no values left, then we're going to stop our iteration and we're not going to do anything else with our while loop. Inside the while loop itself, we are going to compare the first value of either array right here. So the very first value. We're going to decide which array has a first value that is lesser. In this case, we're going to compare -30 and 0, and we very quickly realize that the value -30 is less than 0. So we're going to take that -30, we are going to shift the element from our left array. Remember that shift method? It's just like the pop method, but shift takes the first element out of an array and it completely removes it. So we're going to shift out the -30 and we're going to push that, we're going to push that into our results array right there. Then we do nothing else inside the while loop and we go back up to the header and check our condition again. So we're going to say, are there still elements left in both arrays? Yep, looks like there is. So we are again going to do the same comparison. We're going to say which array now has the lowest first value inside of it. This time around, the right one does. So we're comparing 22 with 0. 0 definitely is the minimum value here. So we're going to shift that out and put it into our results array. We then go to the while loop again. They still both have elements inside left and right. We compare the first element inside of both arrays. In this case, it's 22. Then we go back up to the top. Now, the left array has no elements left inside of it. There's nothing left inside of the left array. So we're no longer going to try to iterate through the while loop. We exit the while loop and we go down to the bottom here. Now notice that the right array still has one value left inside of it, 97. So to make sure that we take care of any kind of dangling values that might be left in either array, we're going to take everything inside of both arrays that is still remaining, and we're going to stuff it into the results array. So I'm going to take everything that's left here, and I'm going to just throw it all directly into results, like so. Now if you look at the results array, this is clearly an array of sorted values. -30, 0, 22, 97. So in closing, the merge function's purpose is to take two sorted arrays and merge them together into one sorted array. So that's the key part of pretty much half of what's going on with the merge sort algorithm. Now at this point, I think we've got a reasonable idea of what that merge function is trying to do. So let's take a pause right here. We're going to continue the next video and we're going to write out the implementation of the merge function. And then after that, we'll start discussing what the purpose of the merge sort function is. So quick break and we'll tackle merge in the next video.